There we go. What's up? I'm back after a couple weeks. I've been traveling and just a bit busy with life, with work, classes and just more work to be honest. Um I haven't had time to just go into the mountains or like into the woods and just clear my brain out, just get the brain fog out. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be back in the woods where all you can just hear is the birds chirping and pure silence. I literally cannot hear anything else, which is literally the best thing to hear. Which is kind of ironic because I live in a city where there's just beeping and just people talking, people shouting, and just noise everywhere, people everywhere. It's just a bit too much. I like being by myself with no one around me. That's very, that's a very liberating feeling. Today I saw a guy just on the street just talking to himself, and I just sat down and just said, why do people just talk to themselves on the street? Like, not in a way of like, oh yeah, like this. No, like fully acting and getting mad at someone who's just not there. And many people think it's just, oh yeah, he's just on drugs, because that's the easy answer. But we never actually sit down and think, what is that person like? What is he going through in his life? Like, what has happened to him, and what actions have happened that he's now in this position, where he might be okay, he's just acting, or that's just how he is, or maybe he's just a recovering addict, or maybe has schizophrenia. I'm not really sure, to be honest. That's a question we should ask those people who are just on the street talking to themselves, or just getting mad at no one. And from there stems the main question for this video, which is, how fragile is society? And I think there's no better time to ask this question than right now, where there's an ongoing war in the Gulf that people think will escalate to a full-on World War III, which sounds crazy, right? People, I remember there was this quote that said, I don't know how World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks, because of how devastating World War III would be, with the amount of advancements we've made in bombs, guns, missiles, all tools which is used with taxpayer money to just kill other people, which sounds insane, to be honest. Like, when I say it out loud, it actually sounds insane. So how fragile is society? I came up with that question. It's actually kind of silly. ChatGPT gave me that question, and most of the times I just take ChatGPT as like, it's just like a Google, but like a bit on steroids. You just ask it some questions, and that's it. Like, it's advanced, but it's not as advanced as it could be. I think it'd be much more advanced and give much better answers, but that's a whole different topic. So I was on a train going to Auschwitz in Poland, which is a place I've been wanting to go for a bit. I've been wanting to see the history of that place, because it is a very historical and devastating place to visit. It's not something that should be like, oh yeah, it's on my bucket list to go to Auschwitz. It's something where you should go with the mindset of, I'm going to go somewhere where many people have suffered, been killed, been tortured, and been experimented with. Experimented with. So I went there, and I was just, usually when I do go to a place, I really like to search like the history and like what place has it, like what's the history of the place, etc. And for Auschwitz, it's something like, okay, I need to actually study this, because this is a lot. So I was studying everything. I read a book as well, by Viktor Frankl, a Jewish man, a Jewish psychologist, who invented his own branch of psychology called logotherapy, which is what is purpose. What is your purpose? And from there stems the reason why I made my first video, which is called "What is my purpose?" But regardless, he studied that, like existentialism. Existentialism is a topic is a philosophy he really goes into, especially like in a moment where you're in Auschwitz, the place where you are stripped from dignity, identity, and everything you have. So how do you find a purpose in a place like there, like a place like that? So I think he does a really good job in talking about that. So anyways, I was on the train going to Auschwitz. I had read the book, and I just wanted to like see a couple more things. So I just asked ChatGPT like, what are things like I should just keep an eye out for on Auschwitz, or like go really deep into the history, or like things people might not know. And ChatGPT said like, you should ask yourself the question of how fragile is society, or something like that. But actually sit down and think about the question, because when I read the question I was like, oh yeah, that's very deep. But when I left Auschwitz I said, wow, that's actually an amazing question. How fragile is society? In moments where a full-on war is about to explode, people are being killed, schools are being bombed, all because of money, oil, and controlling economy. It's crazy how people's lives are just determined by, oh, if we explode this place and people die, we'll make more money off oil. It's really sad. I think people who are the leaders in this war are war criminals, villains, and just horrible people. I personally think that. I don't think there is a good side or a bad side, as in all wars. But that's the problem. It's where people try and pick a side when there is no right side in a war. There never is a right side in the war. So in Auschwitz, I saw this quote. It said, "He who forgets his past is bound to repeat it." And I think it's a very good quote, because Jewish people suffered a lot during World War II, where they were removed from their houses, put into concentration camps, made to work to death pretty much, and if they survived, they were just killed another way, either by starvation, dehydration, or just the worst forms of death, I would say. And now on social media, people are like, oh, the Jews control the media, the Jews are this, the Jews are that. And I've seen many people just say, oh yeah, Hitler was right, we need to bring him back. And that's honestly a crazy thing to say. That is genuinely crazy. Don't get me wrong, I hate Israel. I despise that place. I'm pro-Palestine. But that does not give a reason to just say that Hitler was right in killing many, many Jews. Millions. It does not give you the right to say that. So that quote was one that really stuck with me, because it was the World War II was a war about, oh, I have no power. I want to gain back power and gain back what is mine, which is literally what is happening right now. Israel is like, oh, Palestine, oh, that's my land. Oh yeah, I want power, I want money. And that's what's happening. Israel is just thinking that they can get what they want, and they have USA just doing as they're told. It's a really scary place to it's a really scary moment to be living in right now. And when you actually think about, why does USA listen to Israel's commands, and you just think, what blackmail does Israel have on USA? that USA is doing all of these things. Because USA is just losing money. They're just provoking a war. They're killing people. All because Israel is asking them to do that. I think that's honestly insane. I think making one of the, if not the world's strongest country, as in terms of army power, to just do as they're told is insane. It is genuinely insane. I have a friend in Tehran, and I messaged him. I was like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" And he didn't message me back for like a week. I was like, "Oh, I really hope he's okay." And he messaged me. He was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. How are you doing? All good." Um, but just knowing the fact that anything can happen to him at any moment is really scary. I think that's the problem with society of people just don't care about the side effects or the actual effects are happening just because they want to get something, which is in most cases power or money. And they will do whatever they can, whatever they have to do to get that. And I think that is insane. I think that is the Satan, that is Satan talking through people, literally. That is Satan talking through people. I think what is happening right now is literally Satan talking through people. It is insane to see what's happening. And just seeing the news every single time is just, it's just like they really just don't care what's happening. Israel and USA, they just don't care what's happening. And people, I feel like people are just so brainwashed into thinking this is normal, this is okay, because no one has done anything with all of this that's happening, with all of the Jeffrey Epstein files, everything about that. It seems like no one really cares. It seems like people are still in their little bubble of, oh, I'm living my own life. I have these things to do. I need to make a Instagram reel for my followers. I need to take a bikini pic for my TikTok followers. I need to, you know, do just these insignificant things that, in my opinion, do not support anything to society. Absolutely anything. And just ignore what's actually happening around. And I think that's one of the biggest effects of news outlets switching to social media. I think most people don't watch news anymore. I think most people just get all of their news through social media platforms or social media accounts which post news, which is honestly insane, right? Social media, like I could become a news reporter and make an Instagram account with all of the news that's happening right now. Me, with no experience, never have studied journalism, don't even have like any title to be doing this. I could be posting social media stuff, grow a really big account, and just lie. I could just lie. Social media has no credibility whatsoever. People can just lie and just get away with it because, you know, people will repost it, you know, just saying outrageous stuff like, oh yeah, this happened. And social media stuff spreads quicker than wildfire. So people care about insignificant things like, oh look, did you see this person is pregnant? Or did you see this person is dating this person? I find it so stupid in a world where what's happening right now is happening. Where we're not like in the start of the end. We're not at the end of the end. We're in the middle of the end, I would say. We are in the middle of the end. If this continues how it's happening and no one does anything, things will go wrong. Many things will go wrong. Censorship as well. The USA is threatening treason charges to to news reporters who lie or spread hoaxes. Treason is charged with a death sentence. News reporters could die for lying, and on social media there's absolutely no issues to post lies. And they're all doing this because people are just reporting the news of what's happening. They aren't even lying, they're saying what's actually happening. And Donald Trump is getting upset because he's saying, oh, these people are lying. No. This is starting a war. All over money and power. And Iran, I will not defend Iran. Iran did some, not the country, but the leaders. I know I can't speak for the whole country. I think Iran is a really lovely place. I met some really lovely people who are against this whole war. Even where I live in, we have lots of Iranian people, and they all are protesting, fighting for what's right. And you see it, like, even when the whole freedom of Iran happened, like, I'm not really informed about that, but where they wanted to I think it was overthrow the government. I'm not really sure, but when that happened, they went to the streets and protested. They were cheering. When the leader was killed, people were going out to celebrate. I think celebrating the country of Israel is crazy for me, but I understand Iranian people who are saying, like, oh yeah, but Israel did this, they killed our leader, which is what we've been wanting for so long. Yeah, but they also are bombing your country right now. They're bombing kids' schools. And, like, you know, it sounds like a really far away place, no one really cares, but this happened in USA. it would spark so many flames. It would be on the news for weeks. It would be on the news for weeks. But, like, this happened in Iran, which is, you know, an Arab country, so not many people care about it. People are okay with it. It's like, oh, it's just like a side effect of what happened. So you really see how fragile society is with all of this. And how else is society fragile? I think the fact that just the Epstein files were released and no one really cared. People were just begging for these files. They finally got released and just no one cares. They're like, oh, we waited too long for it. Or like, oh, there's just other things happening right now. We don't really care about this. Files proving so many things, involving so many people, of scandals. Not even scandals, just pure pedophilia and rape. Which is honestly crazy. That's just mainly my point of seeing how what happened in Auschwitz and how it's still spoken to up to this date. And now it seems like people don't care about that, and people are now moving on to the current moment, which is, it's so similar to Auschwitz. Killing for money, killing for power. getting rid of people who you think are the problem, but it's just what leaders have made you think is the problem. People are being brainwashed into doing crazy things and believing crazy ideologies just because, oh, a leader says it, or oh, my president says it. No, that's just not how it works. And the escalation of the war was done quite tactically, I think, because there's this phenomenon, or how would I describe it? There's this way of tricking someone's mind. They did a test they asked, I think it was something like this. They asked 50 people who owned a house. They said, can we put a big sign just outside your just on your porch that says, please drive slowly? Many of them refused. Many of them said, no, that just doesn't look good on my front porch. So they tried again, and they tried taking steps. They tried just saying, okay, let's take it step by step. They first went up to these people. They said, hey, can we just put a small sign just on your front porch? It won't be really annoying. That says, please drive slowly. And many people said, yeah, that's fine. You can just leave a small sign. It doesn't really bother me. That's fine. And then they came back after a while. They said, hey, do you mind if we make this sign big? Like, can we just make it a big sign that says, please drive slowly? And at the end of the day, many people agreed. They said, yeah, that's fine. They said, yeah, you can just leave a big sign outside on my porch that says sorry, that says please drive slowly. So I think that's just what's happening with the war, because if this would have all happened before the whole Gaza thing, before the whole Israel versus Palestine, if we would be in the moment right now where Israel is attacking Gaza, they are raping people in Palestine, they are killing citizens, they are laughing at them, they are bombing Iran with money of USA. Iran is bombing bases in US bases in the Gulf area. People would have lost their minds. They would have just said, what the hell is happening? Where the hell are we? We are living on hell. But like, this was taken step by step. First, let's do what happened in Palestine. First, let's attack these people. Second, let's hurt these people. Let's take advantage of them. Oh, let's just bomb Iran because they're developing a nuclear bomb and we don't want them to have that. Oh, let's just kill their leader. Let's just bomb these schools. And people are okay with it. Many right-wing people are just saying, oh yeah, this is okay. Oh yeah, they just hate Arab people. They're like, oh yeah, that's fine. And that's crazy. That is honestly crazy. There's so much psychology I could just continue with about how this war is just all strategically. It's just planned with a lot of strategy. The whole war is planned with a lot of strategy, I would say. To a point where people are just okay with it. People are just brainwashed to just wake up in the morning, scroll TikTok, continue watching Instagram reels. Oh look, Israel did this. Oh well, what can I do about it? Nothing. There's nothing I can do about it. And they just continue on with their days. Some people's days are just being a zombie, honestly. There's a whole nother topic, which is social media influence on people's brains. People just become zombies. I'm on the metro and I just see people just using their phones. Everyone's just sitting, using their phones, scroll. I just all see them like this. I just see their finger moving up and down. And they just look like zombies. Honestly. They're just consuming content which can be so easily manipulated by leaders and people. Where it was so easy to influence news outlets to make people to make people be seen as favorable in certain situations. And now it's so much easier to do this with social media. It's so easy to do this with social media. It's crazy. Propaganda of just, oh, let's just make an edit of someone and make them look good. And yeah, that's just okay with it. We're just okay with him doing what he's done, because, you know, they just made an edit about him and he looks good. It's funny, good music, and it's like, it's just, what are you doing? Honestly, you just see this as like, oh yeah, that's fine. An example I'll give you guys. People usually go on vacations on summer, and people were saying like, oh, where should we go in 2026? Let's go to Colombo, which is in Sri Lanka. Let's go to Kazakhstan. And now people are saying, let's go to Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv 2026. And everyone's just making memes about this. And it's like, people are making it funny. But what's happening is that we're normalizing what has happened, of just joking about it. And then we have Israel people are saying like, oh yeah, everyone should come to Tel Aviv. No. It's like, it's just so stupid, to be honest. We do not like this country. This country has committed many sins, and it's seen as normal. Many sins. It's really bad. And people are just okay with it. People who are like kind of neutral, they say, oh, I'm not into politics. Just say you don't care about the situation. Just say that like you're too uninformed to actually know what's happening. Because if you were informed, you'd know that this is going to lead to a war, and you should care about this. You should stop wasting your time just seeing social media content, which is just pure rubbish, pure brain rot, and actually focus on what's important. And I think social media is just another outlet that's been completely poisoned in favor of leaders and countries that are doing terrible things. And I would say it's one of the fundamentals of every human being in first world countries nowadays. People wake up, the first thing they do, they're scrolling social media, or they're just messaging their friends. They're reading emails. Emails is a bit different, but still. First thing people do is just waking up and racing social media. So you see how easy it is to poison someone when they're just like recently woken up. They're just scrolling some memes or this, some stupid videos. It's so easy to make them believe what you want them to believe. It's so easy to do that. Honestly, it's crazy. So I think it's just a good moment to just get rid of social media, to be honest. I think it's set us back so many years. It's made us into complete zombies. Made people just unproductive, lazy. And then they just say, oh, I just have ADHD. You don't have ADHD. You just think you do because you're just all day on social media, and you can't operate without social media. So yeah, that's my rant about social media. Sorry, about civilization and how bad it is right now. But I do want to take a moment to just appreciate the nature we have today. I think it's really beautiful. And I'm gonna try and distract my brain from all of these things, because they do take a big toll on me sometimes. Of just saying, people are not woke enough to see this. But yeah. If you are uninformed, I do please ask you to be informed. Try and find the right media outlets for that. What I use a couple outlets to properly be informed. But one of the main ones I use is Democracy Now! ! That is, I think it's based in New York. And it's a really good social media outlet. It's left wing because I'm on the left wing, as in, yeah. But if you are right winged or in the center, just use other media outlets. but actually try and be informed without social media. That's where I'm gonna switch off the video. Thank you for watching.